So welcome to another webinar, and this webinar is all about what is purpose. Now, before we start with this webinar, it's really important to understand that purpose is a very subjective type of topic and definition, and everyone will have their own very, very different understanding. You can't see the slides. Sorry, guys, I will check what's going on. Okay, let's try that. I hope you can see those slides now. Thank you for letting me know. So would you just type in for me whether you can see the slides? I'm sure you can now. So thank you very much for letting me know. As I was saying, purpose is a very, very, a very subjective type of topic, okay? And I'm going to tell you where my ideology around this comes from and add a few things that comes from all my background and all the learnings that I've done. So the question is, and will be completely different for all of us, what is purpose? When we often find people telling us that they're looking for a purpose, but what exactly is purpose? What is it that, you know, we so strive for? Because we find that people are always saying, oh, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my purpose is. So what I'm hoping for you to achieve from this webinar is not for me to answer for you what your purpose is, but for you to maybe go away from this webinar with a couple of reflections around what is purpose to you, what it means, and then possibly what is your purpose. Now, the material that I'm covering tonight is from the NeuroChange method training. I am a master trainer and do teach practitioners in NeuroChange. This is an amazing modality. It is actually been put together by PhDs, and it actually has a very scientific basis to looking at the human mind, the way the brain works, our emotions, and it's a really amazing way of understanding how we tick, basically, and how we can show you scientifically how we tick. So, you know, modern science and neuroplasticity, this is all based on neuroplasticity, hasn't really been a topic that's been around for a long time. You know, it was always believed that the brain that you were born with is the brain that you die with. But in the last almost 23 years, since the turn of the century to the 21st century, it's been found now, scientifically proved, that that's not the case. So what you see me presenting tonight has been adapted from the NeuroChange method, and some of it is also my learnings from some of the other studies that I have done. So let's have a look at what is purpose. This is the age-old question. What is it? What is it that we're looking for? What does it mean, and what is it? So to psychologists, purpose is an abiding intention to achieve a long-term goal that is both personally meaningful and makes a positive mark on the world. So to psychologists, what they're saying is that purpose is something that fulfills you, but also fulfills what you believe, right, to make this world better. So as you can see, just from that statement alone, what I think is purpose and what I do to fulfill, you know, my connection to the world and to leave this place a better world is completely different to anyone else who would be watching this and what you think. So you have to keep that in mind, because if you get stuck on purpose being a specific thing or purpose having to be a specific way, I think that's when it causes a lot of angst. So purpose originated from the Latin, putting forth, and then developed from the French language, to put or to place. Now, why do we search for purpose? This is a really interesting question because we are always searching for purpose. We're searching for a meaning to our lives, a meaning to who we are, a meaning to why we're here. And this is why I think it causes so much angst, because I think people go looking for something that is sometimes unattainable, or something that they have some sort of idea of what they think purpose is. And if they feel they don't live to that up to that level of what they believe to be their purpose, I think that's when it can cause a little bit of trouble. So one of the reasons why we do search for purpose is because it enhances our well-being, makes us feel good. If we think that we're living in purpose, it definitely makes us feel good. It also increases our resilience, and it decreases our ill-being, right? So basically, what looking for purpose or searching for purpose or knowing you have a purpose or living in that purpose, whatever it is for you, actually makes you feel really good. So it's a big connection to your emotional feelings. In the year 2000, it was found through a study that people with a high purpose enjoy greater satisfaction. They are more self-actualized, meaning that they tend to get their goals, they're more confident, feel more positive emotions, and have greater self-esteem. So that in itself is very, very important to understand for yourself. They found that even when these people weren't enjoying themselves, right, so they were doing things that they didn't really particularly like to do, they still felt more fulfilled. They looked to the future with hope and optimism, helping them grow from traumatic experiences. Purpose helps with psychological ill-being. Having a strong sense of purpose is associated with less depression, stress, and anxiety. In short, living with purpose feels good. It helps us to take care of ourselves, invest our energy into our pursuits, because if you believe that you are living in your purpose or following a purpose, you put more energy into it because you want it. And it helps with having more meaningful relationships. So you can see that this is an incredibly, incredibly important concept to understand for yourself and for your personal development as well. Now, there's 3 ways that people search for purpose. Purpose can develop through copying a behavior that is resulted in a positive outcome. This is what we call a passive search. So what that means is, let's say you see someone who, has a behavior. That behavior has a positive outcome according to you. Remember that this is subjective. So it doesn't mean that what is a positive behavior for me would be a positive behavior for you. But let's say you have an idea of what you want your purpose to be, what you want your life to look like, what's meaningful for you. And purpose then can come from you looking at someone else who has achieved what it is that you want to achieve, and then you basically copy that or mimic that or model that. In NLP, we call it modeling. And for those who do know anything about NLP, NLP is based completely on modeling other people. So that is the most passive way of actually searching for your purpose. The second one is a reactive development. And this comes through major trauma. So maybe it can be things like a near-death experience or a real turning upside down of your life, health issues, major health issues, all those sorts of things. And what happens is, basically, if you go through one of these sort of traumas, you end up questioning, what am I here for? What's my purpose in life? You reflect on what you've done up until this point, And it gives you the opportunity to develop your purpose, reevaluate your life, your goals, your values, and direction. And these all have an impact on your purpose. Your goals, your values especially, will determine what you think your purpose should be or how you think your purpose should be. Now, proactive development relies heavily on chance because it relies on something happening to you. And not everyone goes through that. Yes, there are a lot of people that do end up going through trauma, myself included. In my life, I went through a major upheaval. And then, yes, absolutely, I had a reactive development stage where I started to reflect and I reevaluated my whole life, my goals, all my values, and the direction in which my life was headed, and has brought me basically to where I am today. But again, that relies heavily on something happening to you, and it doesn't happen to everybody. The next one is a proactive search. Now, this here can also happen, in my experience, along the way as well. So for me, I've done all three of these. I've done the social learning, I've had the reactive development, but I'm still on a proactive search. And this is the search that has the most effort. This is the one that really you need to step out of your comfort zone. It involves a lot of reflection. It involves a lot of awareness of where you are and where you want to be. It involves a lot of soul searching, so to speak. And it involves a lot of you being able to actually call BS on your own stuff. It also involves a lot of curiosity. And you must be open to this. This is definitely the hardest one out of the three searches. And you must have a growth mindset when it comes to a proactive search. I believe that if we are constantly in some level of a proactive search, if you are looking for your purpose. If you are not looking for your purpose, if it's not something that you're wanting, if it's not something that interests you, I would say that there are probably people that don't do any of this. But if it's important to you, if knowing your purpose, knowing your meaning, because purpose and meaning of your life pretty much can be joined together. If this is something that you are looking for, proactive searching is going on always. And if you are on this webinar watching this, or you watch this video in a recording, or you watch it once we put it out there for people to download it, you will be definitely on a proactive search. You'll be looking at what else, what is it that I haven't quite put my finger on, and how do I find what my purpose in life is? The one thing that's really important, and it's something that I thought was imperative for me to mention during this, because a lot of people have what we call purpose anxiety. And that's the search for purpose. Now, why we have purpose anxiety is because of some sort of idea of what we think our purpose is. And here I want to talk about a lady that I worked with many, many years ago. And one day we were in a women's circle and I was talking about our purpose in that particular women's circle. And I had, some people in there that were doing some pretty, what society would consider extraordinary things. And this particular lady looked over and said, "Oh, I don't know what my purpose in life is. I really don't do anything special." And I asked her, what does she do? And she works in a hospital and she delivers food to the patients. Now, this lady is a beautiful, bubbly, welcoming lady, massive heart, really empathetic. And I asked her a few questions, and I said to her, so when you walk into these patients, these sick people's rooms, what do you do? She goes, oh, I always walk in with a big smile on my face, and I say, hello, how are you today? I hope you're feeling better. I've bought you some food. I hope it's to your tasting. I hope you have an amazing day. She goes, I have a little conversation with them before I move to the next patient. And I said to her, and what usually happens when you do that? And she goes, oh, they light up and they're so excited to see someone and have a conversation. And I said, so you think you're just someone who works in a hospital delivering food to patients? I said, but you're bringing them happiness. Have you ever stopped to think that there's more purpose in the job that you actually do than what you're giving yourself credit for? So it's really, really important to understand, okay, that when it comes to purpose, we need to really look at what is the impact that we're having on others. What is the impact that we have on ourselves doing what we do every day? And therein, you might find that that is actually your purpose, because not everybody needs to have this purpose, whether on a world stage or TEDx speakers or anything like that. Your purpose may just be just doing what you do every day. And if that brings you joy and happiness, and it brings joy and happiness to the people you work with or connect with, that could possibly be your purpose. But a lot of us have this idea that our purpose has to be something bigger, something huge, and that causes purpose anxiety. So some of the things that purpose anxiety does, it causes you stress. So if you're watching this and you're a person who's always thinking, oh, am I living my purpose? I would highly urge you to reflect on what it is that you do and what it is that that does for others. And you might find that what you do is enough, but that maybe it's your perception of what you think purpose is that you're not living up to. So worry is another cause of purpose anxiety. Anxiety itself. So you might have anxiety around what you're doing and thinking it's not enough. Frustration and fear. So if you believe that you're possibly got purpose anxiety, here are some things that you can do to stop yourself up. I've already said you have to evaluate what your idea of purpose is, because purpose is fundamentally individual, unique, and cannot be defined by someone else. So if your definition of purpose is a definition from society or from someone else that you know, and it can be anyone or someone from your past, you need to really reflect on that and have a think about what purpose really means to you and really understand what you're doing and whether you're living your purpose. I used to suffer from purpose anxiety, but I believe now that as long as I do what I love to do, which is including doing this webinar tonight, and it touches one person, I help one person from this, to me, that's my purpose. I don't have to help millions of people or hundreds of people. If I can just help one person, that is absolutely enough. So stop comparing yourself to others. Find what makes your heart sing and just do it. Because when you're coming from real purpose, it makes you happy, and your energy, just your energy of being happy and doing what you love, attracts that purpose to you. It attracts what you're trying to achieve. It attracts the people. It makes the changes that needs to happen. This next one is a little bit of a difficult one. Let go of the need to know. Let go of the need to know what is your purpose. What if your purpose is just to be happy? What if your purpose is just to be grateful every day, to just live a life feeling joyful? That could be your purpose as well. So let go of needing to know or needing to think that your purpose has to be a certain way. I'd love to know from those who are here live what you actually think of what I just said. If you can comment, that would be really great. Be kind to yourself. Don't, if you're still searching, if you're still not quite there, that's okay. Let go and just go with it and be kind to yourself. Don't knock yourself about if you don't get what you think you need to have as your purpose. Remember that purpose is about the journey, not the destination. So enjoy the trip, be content to not know, and allow yourself to fail and live in the moment. Because perhaps your purpose is just that, to learn to live in the moment of whatever it is that you're doing and to enjoy that. So a physiological approach of what purpose is. So at the moment, I am actually studying philosophy. So philosophy, again, is very abstract, okay? So let's have a look from a physiological approach. I can't even talk. Teleology, I think that's how you say it, has the basic meaning of the study of ends of purpose. What this does, what this means, is that someone who is a teleologist attempts to understand the purpose of something by looking at its results. So this is a really broad, big picture concept and something to get your head around. So from a philosophical point of view, right, what we're looking at here is that we look at the result, and whatever the result is that you get is the purpose. So in other words, if we look at, I'm going to use a metaphor for cutlery here. If you look at what a knife can do, which is cutting food or cutting things, that is its purpose, to be able to cut. So if you have a look at this from what is the results that you get, and the results that you get, maybe that's your purpose. So again, this is a big picture concept and cannot really be answered scientifically. There is no science that can tell you what the answer to purpose is. There are many variations. We think we are designed in a certain way or here to do a certain thing, and if we don't do that, we get disappointed. So maybe what you need to do is look at your results. What is it that you achieve? And that could be your purpose. Rather than striving for something that is unachievable or that is always outside of your grasp, maybe you just need to do the best you can every single day, and those results are your purpose. Maybe your purpose is just to learn to live like that. One way to look at this is more about significance. What gives you meaning for life? The philosophy type concept of purpose is very abstract. And like I said before, what if your purpose was just to be happy with what you have right now and enjoy what you have right now. And not go into these deep meaning of what you think your purpose should be or why you are here. So just a completely different approach to looking at what your purpose is. From a psychological point of view, okay, or a more psychological approach, right? And this examines how people organize their lives and how they talk, feel, and reflect on their purpose of their life. So it's a very different concept to the one we just had. From a person's own observation, they can obtain a purpose. So this is more about a person's observation. We often describe purpose in the context of living a meaningful life. There are two ways that this can be viewed. One is a more cognitive way, how you view yourself and the world you live in and how you fit into the world. That is a more psychological way of looking at your purpose. How you see yourself in the world and how you fit into it. The second way is motivational, what you believe your life is for. So this is a lot more, I guess, it's a lot less abstract, and it's also more about your conscious thinking of what you believe purpose is. Now, when these two are closely aligned, you feel more coherence and more aligned. So what does that mean? If the way you view yourself and the way you fit into the world and the motivation behind what you believe your life is for, when those two are closely aligned, so what you do in the world and how you fit in is closely aligned to where you believe you should be doing in your life, this gives you passion for living. So when your passion for living and your values match your goals and aspirations, this gives you a sense of purpose. So from a more psychological point of view, it's more about how you view yourself and what motivates you to do what you do every day. And that then gives you your purpose. But again, I'd like you to have a think about if you have any form of purpose anxiety, what is it that you're looking at? Because remember, the way you look at the world is very subjective. So if you're not aligned and you're not motivated, that what you believe your life is for, and what you believe your life is for and what you're doing isn't quite matching, you might need to reflect a little bit and have a look at why is that so? Because one of the problems that tends to happen is that we tend to be motivated by other people's expectations rather than our own. And when we are motivated by what we believe other people expect from us, or we're motivated by what we believe the world expects from us, that can cause us a lot of anxiety. How do you overcome this? Well, first and foremost, it's really important to get to know the true you. What makes you tick? What do you like? What are your goals? What are your values? What do you, not what anyone else expects from you, what do you want in your life? And when you find that and you understand how you fit into the world, that then motivates you to keep going. So two incredibly different approaches, one more abstract than the other, but just some food for thought. It always is going to come back to you. It's always going to come back to you and how you view yourself and the expectations that you put on yourself. But if you're living a life that you are happy, true to yourself, there should never be any purpose anxiety. And maybe that is the real meaning of life and the real purpose of why we are all here. So how do you find your purpose? Get to know yourself. I've already said that. Really get to know who you are. Get rid of anything that's holding you back. If you live in what I call the woulda, shoulda, couldas, if you live under the shadow of other people, if you allow other people to influence you and what you believe, you really will need to stop doing that, because you will keep pushing yourself to a place that is not true for you. And finding your purpose is all about living your truth. Because when you align who you are and you live in that truth of who you are as a person, and you live in that truth of being the most authentic you that you can be, and maybe it is something really big, maybe it isn't, it doesn't matter. But when you truly, truly align to yourself, you get to know the true you, not anything that's been imposed on you through society, family, friends, peers, growing up especially. And even today, I still see people today who have other people's expectations on their shoulders, and they believe they have to do certain things because it's expected of them. So once you get to know the true you, which takes a lot of courage, and you know what, sometimes you don't always like who you see, and that's okay too. But once you get to know who you really are, what you like, what you enjoy, what's important to you, and live in that truth, I think that's when you really find your purpose. So that's it for me tonight, guys. I hope that's helped. For anyone who's on here live, if you'd like to pop in some questions, if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them for you. If not, I look forward to seeing you all again for the next webinar. Thank you so much to everyone for being here. Thank you to those who will be watching this. If anyone wants to reach out, they've got any more questions about this, please do reach out. I really do appreciate all the support that I have from everyone every week. And as I said, I really, really look forward, I'm just going to stop these slides, to seeing you again next time with another installment of some of my philosophy of what it is that I teach, how I think, and basically this is all about, a lot of people ask me constantly with all the training that I've had, and there is some training that I haven't announced yet that is quite big that I'm doing. They want to know how I think and how I work. So if there's anyone who watches this and you have a topic you would like me to cover, please let me know. If not, I will just keep sharing. Thanks for the info. My pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. It's my pleasure to share with you what I believe will help you live absolutely the best life you can, and that's basically what I feel is part of my purpose. Thank you again for watching, guys. I really appreciate you. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.